When the Twin Towers and the Pentagon were hit 22 years ago, the National Guard was deployed to protect New York City and Washington, both on the ground and from the air. After that, we saw the beginning of a shift in the Guard's mission from a strategic reserve to an operational force that would eventually be deployed to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. Joining us now, four-star General Dan Hokanson, the Chief of the National Guard Bureau. Thank you very much for being on the show this morning on this special day. If you could talk a little bit about the meaning of this day, 22 years later, and how it perhaps triggered the transformation of the National Guard?
Yeah, Mika, thank you for that question. And I think for all of us that were alive then, it's one of those days you remember exactly where you were when you first heard the news and just the impact it had on our nation. But you also look at the heroism displayed that day by our first responders, by many of our civilians, and also our guardsmen, particularly here in New York. You know, we've got a large National Guard contingent here in New York, and literally hundreds and thousands of them immediately went to their armory without being asked. And by the end of the day, I think we had over 6,000 guardsmen on duty here. And as you mentioned, we had 6 states involved with the air patrolling. In fact, one of the unique stories is within Washington, D.C., when Flight 93 was unaccounted for, we launched fighters, and because they were not armed, they only had 500 rounds of training ammo, and their mission was to prevent anything from attacking our nation's capital. And so when those air crews took off, they knew that may well mean them having to ram that aircraft to prevent it from attacking our nation's capital.
General, yeah, extraordinary moments of service and potential sacrifice 22 years ago. But now we are 2 decades since the attack, still ever present, of course, those particularly us in New York. But how do you see that spirit of service? Are you still seeing Americans want to serve in that way? And are you concerned that maybe not enough are?
You know, there is an incredible sense of service with those serving today. And when you look at the past 20 years, you know, that was really the turning point for the National Guard. Prior to that, we were more of a strategic reserve, and then we became operational over the last 20 years. In fact, over 1 million guardsmen have deployed overseas. And when you look at today's spirit of service, the experience that they developed over that time, we've got incredible leaders at every level. And we're very fortunate the National Guard will meet our end strength requirement by the end of the year. In the Army National Guard, on the Air Guard, it's a little bit closer. But what we're finding is, you know, just those eligible to even enter military service, that number continues to decrease every year. But at the end of the day, we maintain our standards, and we're looking for the best and brightest, and they still come to our formations, and it's really good to have them there.
General, over the last 20 years, the principal areas overseas deployment were the greater Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq, and so forth. Looking forward, it's not going to be. The contingencies we're thinking about much more Europe or Asia, China, if you will, the great geopolitical game. How does that affect the Guard? How is your training and planning adapting to, if you will, the return of traditional geopolitics?
So interesting, you may not be aware, so the National Guard has state partners. So every state in the United States has a national partner, and we really developed this after the end of the Cold War when the Berlin Wall came down. Great example is California has been a partner with Ukraine since 1993. And really, after Russia invaded Ukraine for the first time in 2014, our guardsmen sat down with the Ukrainians and looked at what went right, what went wrong, and we stood up a joint multinational training group in Ukraine in 2016, and we really focused on those areas. And you're really seeing the impact there and their ability to thwart Russia's plans to invade the entire country. Now, there's a lot of work still going on. Shortly after the war began, we moved our training to Germany. We still continue to train as guardsmen, the Ukrainian army, with equipment. And of course, that's making an impact on the battlefield even today.
General, one of the things that I most remember 22 years ago is a sense of people from different races and backgrounds came together and realized that we were all under threat. I mean, no one sent an email in telling blacks or Latinos or Asians don't go to work tomorrow at the Twin Towers or at the Pentagon. And after that, there was this coming together of saying we have our political differences, but we need to stand up and preserve the country. Have you seen that growth maintained? Did you see it then, this kind of spirit of American unity and what has happened to it in your judgment the last 22 years?
Yes, right. I see that every single day. Anytime I drill with the Guard unit or visit them, we have about 23,000 deployed today. You know, to them, they realize the importance of what they're doing. And it's regardless of your color, your skin, or what you believe. At the end of the day, it says U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Coast Guard, or Space Force. And we just work together because we know we have a job to do. And we take it very seriously. And we're very honored and proud to represent our country, no matter where it is on the face of the earth.
Chief of the National Guard Bureau, General Dan Hokanson, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.